Thank you.
Welcome to the Jeremiah Show. My special guest today are returning Larry Dvoskin with bandmates and brothers, twin brothers, Chad and Sean Bierman.
Woo!
Yes, guys, welcome.
Woo!
Uh, Chad, Sean make up, I don't know, what is it, two-thirds of an indie rock
Pretty
band?
much.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
indie rock band. The name of the band, great name, Familiar Faces. Again, like I said, led by identical twin brothers, Sean and Chad, and Nanzo EKG. Recently, Familiar Faces collaborated with legendary songwriter Larry Dvoskin, who has written for artists such as David Bowie, Santana, Bon Jovi, Bad Company, Robert Plant, Sammy Hagar, and Beach Boy Al Jardine. That's just to name a few. The guys are here today to premiere Larry's and their Familiar Faces new single, This New Age. This is a song that was 40 years in the making. Welcome, Larry, Chad, and Sean.
thank you.
Congratulations on the release of the new single, This New Age. It really, I told you earlier, Larry, I love it. It rocks. I mean, it just builds and builds and builds. And just driving guitar and drums and vocals. I just love it.
Thank you. 40 years ago, I looked out at the world and thought, wow, like we have a choice, do we get it together or like, kind of disappear and let, raccoons and meerkats take over the world. And for some reason it just sat there. And it's almost like how seeds and flowers and things come up out of the ground in the right moment. You can't force them. The way the world is right now, it poses that question without it being preachy or it's more of a philosophical conversation than like a command. The best songs let the listener imagine their own picture in their own life.
So true.
So that's what it does.
Does it 40 years in the making? It makes me wonder what was going on in the world 40 years ago in your orbit, Larry.
My
And
order.
then the second part of that, so excuse me, is does it make you sad that this song is more relevant and fits in with our time 40 years later? We're still facing some of the same questions.
It doesn't make me sad. It's just life is the way it always is. There are civilizations, the Romans, the Aztecs, the Incas, all kinds of great civilizations that led the world, and then kind of things change. So it's part of nature, the evolution. But, the first line of the song, things are so strange, Exxon money, computers rule the day. And then another line from the second verse, split an atom in two, meaning nuclear weapons, but will you let me reach inside of you? This idea that we are so technologically advanced, but have we advanced spiritually, emotionally, and culturally? And so it's asking that question rather than giving you the answer.
You gave me a few compliments off air. I would have recorded them, but oh well, here we are. But I have a pretty good understanding of you, Larry, who you are, how you view the world. And I've picked this up basically based on the way that I've seen you treat others. And you're warm, so that's compliments going to you now. You're warm and you're very kind. I think you walk this earth with honor and your head held high, and for all those reasons, you attract artists and great people around you. You surround yourself with great people. And on top of all that, you can sing, write, and produce great music. So I think you understand. My understanding of you is that you understand the human heart as only a songwriter could. But you also have this other side to you. You have this practical understanding of AI through your entrepreneurial work and business. And the song's lyrics in this new age explore a pressing question for all of us right now. Will humanity awaken in time to change course, or will we destroy ourselves? So I'd love it if you could put a positive Larry Dvoskin spin on that answer.
I feel that history repeats itself. We've been here for a long time. And I have a positive spin. When I'll give you an example, everyone's afraid AI and robots are going to take over the earth, kill all the humans, and then live happily ever after. It reminds me of the drum machine. In the 1980s, suddenly there was a Lynn drum machine that rock people were using and a Roland 808 that hip hop guys and Bell Biv DeVoe were doing these sounds. Everyone said, drummers are dead. That's it. No more drummers. You got a machine. You save money. And then Nirvana came along and Dave Grohl just bashed that in the head with a drumstick. And suddenly drummers are there. And it's not an either or, it's a both and. So I feel that AI used as a tool for creativity is something that can really help mankind. And so I'm maybe overly optimistic, but we're all living in our own movies in our own head these days. I mean, so in my world, there is a sun shining, but I'm also a realist, that we have a lot of challenges to face. And most of them are emotional. Intellectually, there's satellites that could read your license plate, sitting in your driveway from, 60 miles in space, but yet we argue about politics and about government funding and all this stuff that is so basic when we're so advanced in so many other ways.
Where do you get your material? What are you when you're writing music? What do you think your main muse is, or what is your main inspiration from life that you find helps with lyrics, helps with writing compelling songs like you produce?
I'll tell you something. I had a impromptu fanboy meeting once with Paul McCartney in the Hamptons, where I just saw him sitting alone and rushed at him like a crazy person and started dissecting the song Yesterday. And he was like, "Oh, I never thought of that." And I sat and just talked to him. And Paul McCartney, whose birthday, by the way, is today, for those listeners, we're actually recording this on June 18th, 2025. It is Sir Paul's birthday, a man who brought so much love, joy, and community and communion and union with the world. And he said to me, if I think about it too much, it stops. It just stops. He just gets out of the way. It's like being a faucet. You're not the water, you're just the faucet. Or you're not the radio transmission, you're just the antenna. So I just get out of the way and let an idea come through. And then it's up to the world whether that's a good bad or bad idea. And so for the song This New Age, I was seeing a world in 1984. George Orwell wrote a book about 1984, like about this weirdness going on. And he wrote it a long time before then. And it's still the same. It's just, it's different things. At that time, people were talking about, the ozone layer was a big thing. I don't know if you remember this, or Y2K.
I do.
The Y2K, when it becomes the year 2000, missiles will launch from the silos. We've always been at this precipice. And how do we pull that back and see that we're all drops of water in one ocean? And that each drop is part of a bigger wave, a bigger body of creation.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. Such a good way to put it. Chad and Sean, guys, you correct me if I've got it wrong, but I think I got it right. You were the Bierman brothers originally, and you started playing when you were 8 years old together in a band. Is that true? Do I have that right?
That is true.
Yeah. So what do you think about when you this new single, and what do you think about the world? I mean, you guys are young guys, right?
Yeah.
I don't want you to tell me how old you are unless you'd like to, but you got a new perspective. You are really this new age.
True. Hey, I like that.
Yeah, we're 22, and I like how you said that we're this new age, because it's cool because we kind of got to it's almost like the fulfillment of a prophecy with Larry writing the song and us getting to release it and record it. Really happy with how it sounds. Thank you, Larry, by the way, for just giving us this gift of a song. We're really stoked about how it came out. But yeah, obviously the world is crazy right now. I think anybody living today knows that there's so much going on, and so it's definitely an honor to be able to share a message about it at this time, rather than stay silent, because it's just, I know everybody that I know, including myself, is just having feelings of uh, concern, and it's a little scary right now, without a doubt. And so, just being able to put a message out there as an artist of just addressing the situation is just a good start to, I think, spreading a positive message. And
Mhm.
obviously Larry wrote this song and the lyrics, and Larry, I couldn't have said it better myself, all the message that you're trying to say here. And we even have had the honor of writing other songs with Larry that continue to spread a similar message. And I just can't wait to share that as an artist. Most of the stuff that we've always recorded has been, I guess our first single was more of a addressing the global situation, but it's good to come back around to that full circle, because most of our releases have been more oriented towards love. But at this time in the world, I think it's important to address what's going on as an artist, and we're just happy to be doing that.
Mhm.
And I think it's really interesting how Larry's giving this like wizardly elderly perspective as the generation before us, and here we are now as the new age. And it's like he's he's offering an image of there's all these changes, but yet he also gives this perspective of like everything's going to be okay. Everything's always seemed scary, but everything's ended up okay. So we as the new generation shouldn't be worried. It's going to be okay, even if things change, things always do change. But it's just like at the end of the day, like, will you let me reach inside of you? Will you let me feel something, still love amidst the scariness, amidst the change? Like, we can still feel each other, still feel love. At the end of the day, I heard a quote from Albert Einstein. When he was dying, he said he may know all the statistics, he may know all these physics, he may know all of math, but the only most powerful thing is love. And it's like, will you let me reach inside of you? Will you let me feel that love from one another, despite all the changes, all the scariness? Like, this new age is coming, and we're happy to be a part of this message with this wizard, Larry.
Well, you delivered it on wings of beautiful music and notes, and it's inspiring the way it drives and rocks and builds. Like I said in the beginning, it's an inspiring, almost anthem in a way, where it gets your energy going, and it starts in the beginning where you're contemplating, you're thinking, and then the wheels start moving and goes faster and faster. And then by the end of it, you've got this energy. I can accomplish and do anything. No problem is too big. And speaking of this new age, the age that you guys are growing up in, Larry and I didn't have cell phones. We didn't have social media. We didn't have the things that are just normal for you. It's just the way it is, right? The pandemic, you've gone through so many things as young men, which are, I'm sure, helping your artistry, helping your music. Do you think that music is the thoroughfare, that music is the constant, that music is the way to communicate to the world? With all these other tools that you have at your fingertips, do you guys believe that with your band?
Yeah. No, thanks for asking that question. That's a beautiful question. I think that music is like the most natural way to express something deeper than words can, like emotion and love and a feeling, you know? It truly is something beautiful and amazing.
You know,
Well,
when we have a tragedy, a global tragedy, people come together. And what do they do in addition to coming together? They sing Amazing Grace. They sing Imagine. They sing Hallelujah. They sing "We Shall Overcome." They sing "The Answer Is Blowing in the Wind." It seems to be a thread that unites people on a higher level. It ignites them and unites them in a way of communion and community that just sort of marching or writing a letter to your politician or something doesn't do as an individual. Music somehow, and also really good music, just almost like a wine, it gets better with time. I mean, we're listening to music and things like this week is the founder of the Beach Boys, and we'll talk about that in a minute, passed away. But music is more than just a song. It's a part of someone's life. It's the soundtrack to their life. It's the first kiss. It's the song they dance to at their wedding. It's the song that they first, went out to party with their friends and turned the radio up loud, and or in this case, their online phone, platform online. So it has something that's greater than the sum of the parts.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. That's a great way to put it. And it's so amazing to me. Like, we're sitting here today talking. You guys are in LA, right? Are all of you in LA today?
Yeah.
I'm up in Santa Barbara, and this will broadcast. This will broadcast on a few stations in London and Boston and New York and LA and Santa Barbara and Australia and Philadelphia. It's going to broadcast around the world, and your music now starts. This song, this message is out there along with, the your story. And I think that's such a beautiful thing that we can carry these your great music and the songs that you write. We can carry those and send them out to the world. Okay, my special guest today, Larry Dvoskin, Chad Bierman, and Sean Bierman, two twin brothers from the band Familiar Faces. You can find them on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook and YouTube at Familiar Faces _official. Their website is familiarfacesofficial.com. And Larry Dvoskin, man, you can find him everywhere. He's all over the internet, but you can check him out on Wikipedia at Larry_Dvoskin. Tim Devine, former A&R head of Warner Brothers, Capitol, and Sony Records, says of Familiar Faces, "I hate everything usually, but I love this band. They are the future of rock and roll." And we're going to premiere at the end of the show today, "This New Age," a song 40 years in the making, perfectly timed for now. Veteran songwriter and producer Larry Dvoskin is releasing the single today, Thursday, June 18th, titled, again, "This New Age." It was originally written 40 years ago, but it resonates now more deeply than ever. More philosophical than preachy, the track explores a question that still defines our critical moment facing mankind. Will humanity awaken in time to change course? Stay tuned for the single at the end of the show. We're going to play it in its entirety, and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. Familiar Faces and Larry Dvoskin.